And now to our studio guests, Tim Rogers and Tex Perkins.
Oh, Tex cough.
Sorry,
And
that's
Tim-
good.
do it again.
No, let's not do it
right
again.
on text
No,
too.
Tex.
Tex
I
Perkins.
want that heard quite clearly.
Clearly.
Tex. Tim Rogers. Tex Perkins.
Yeah.
Obviously
Perko.
fans of each other, and you're Perko.
Perko and Jolly.
Perko and Jolly.
Perko and Jolly are here. How great to have them here, isn't
That's
it?
right, collapsed couch and all.
It's fantastic. I'm sitting on the couch with three bona fide rock legends.
Oh, well.
It's incredible.
True.
It's
It is
true of
true.
her.
I mean,
There's
Two
no.
of whom are finally recording together.
But it's incredible. How many women would like to be in my position right now?
I imagine the odd one.
Quite a lot. It's incredible.
Don't say it. Don't say it, Perko. Don't say it. Don't say it. Just let it go.
Tex Perkins and Tim Rogers are here on the couch with us, James Reyne, and what a lovely thing it is to have you both here.
It is
Finally,
a wonderful thing to be here,
yeah,
Tracee.
and finally recording together. The love affair that you two have been fostering over the last couple of years, coming to fruition in studio.
Well, the perfect way to ruin it is to record together. But it hasn't happened so far.
We wanted to test our marriage.
You haven't recorded, you are recording with Shane.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, I'm
Yikesville.
making a record. And,
You've been there.
No, but I know Shane, and a few people have been there.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people talk very highly of the,
yeah, so
of the
they should.
studio and the experience.
It's a great environment to recording, and we're going into it with. I've never recorded anything in this way, sort of going in with things kind of half prepared and actually collaborating on songs. I've never collaborated with anyone before, so it's wonderful.
So you obviously writing together.
Yeah, I mean, most of the songs so far have been songs that Tex has brought forward and just said, look, I'm missing a little bit here. Can you pull anything from your vast pantheon of little bits of genius and throw it in there? And sometimes they work, but most have been Tex's so far,
They've
definitely.
all worked, Rogers.
They've all worked. Hey, Timmy,
Hi,
can you just... I can't see your eyes, love.
I'm ashamed.
No, come on. I can't see your eyes.
I've got...
There.
But just on that, I mean, it's interesting that you say that you've not actually collaborated in a songwriting way before.
He hasn't collaborated with anybody.
So right through You and My, the Temperance Union, it's basically the Rogers empire.
Yeah, well, I'd say that, but you're obviously influenced by the people you play with, and so I mean, with things like songwriting, I'd consider it a split deal because I'm sure that the impetus for certain songs came because I play with these people.
It turns out, what, royalty-wise, you've split them?
Yeah.
None of my business if you don't want to go into
No,
that.
with most things, definitely with You and I, because so much of the way I write is about Russell's drumming and about Davey playing guitar and Andy, their involvement. So I would consider that in my particular. I don't think it's necessarily the way that everyone should go, but I know that the way I write's influenced by those guys more than most things. Rather than my slavish kind of stealing of others' back catalogues, it's probably more their characters that inform the way that they're written. So.
Right.
So the coming together of this, which I mean, obviously, you've known each other a long time, and
But have we really known each other?
Well, see, and this is interesting because this is.
Can you ever really know someone in the industry?
But this is your fifth. You've got the Cruel Sea. Is the Cruel Sea still?
Cruel Steve still?
Cruel Steve.
Yeah, they're still.
Cruel Steve.
Cool Steve is still going, aren't they?
He's a bastard.
Yeah, the Bourbons of Beast. They're still going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got Beast of Bourbon, Cruel Sea.
No, there's no Cruel Sea.
Oh, finished. Dark Horses. Dark Horses.
Go on.
Oh, down. Text on and Charlie. If you feel like it. So so given that you're writing,
Occasionally.
right? Okay.
It's a possibility. Occasionally.
Really? Okay. So the coming together then for you two, was it about a fondness for each other in a professional sense or a personal sense, or just kind of thinking we just really like drinking together, so we're...
Well, I'll tell you how I've seen it. Well, we've known each other since, we first played a gig together in 1990, but we didn't really know each other.
You and My's first ever show was supporting Tex and Box Jesuit, which I'd forgotten until the other week, and I woke up, a sweat. Wrote a mission statement, but then remembered I'd just seen Jeremy Maguire. So,
but no, we've known each other since '93. But
gee, I would have thought it might have been before that.
No.
Okay.
No. I'm only 25. I couldn't have been before that.
Yeah.
And but yeah, we've known each other for years. We just see each other at events. things like
Award
that.
shows, that kind
Award
of thing.
shows. Carpet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Velvet rope.
but over the last, say, 18 months, we've been sort of hanging out more and sort of actually sitting in a room together and getting to really know each other.
But do you ever really get to know somebody? See, I think that anyone who meet me for 5 minutes and they know me through and through.
Oh.
You, I think, is... I hope I never get to
You're a
truly
mystery
know
to
you.
me, Rogers.
No, there's nothing mysterious at all.
See, it's apart from...
But no, I'll finish my story.
Go, yeah.
So we started hanging out and drinking, and we thought, well, people should pay us to do this. So we thought we have the same agent, so we just get us a gig, Gerard.
And it was in Tasmania. Someone said the Republic run Tasmania is stupid enough to put up a guarantee for you to come down and do your Derek and Clive routine, and we did, and it was extraordinary.
So we just played sort of his songs and my song from back catalogue, and just had a lovely time. And sort of 3 gigs into this partnership, a offer came from the Western Australian Symphony Orchestra for Tim to get involved in that, and they wanted him to do it with somebody else, and so he said, I'll bring Perko. Yeah. And so we did that. So the whole sort of just for a couple of beers and a laugh sort of thing really sort of swelled up to this massive,
As you once said, that everything you've been involved in, as far as bands or groups, like it started off as a bit of a laugh and rapidly became quite a lot more serious than you thought it would be. I mean, with our 3rd gig being with the West Australian Symphony, obviously it was quite a curve.
How was it? Because I remember we went there about 2 weeks after it happened, mate, and people were raving about it.
Oh,
was it good? Was it weird?
It was weird.
Was it huge rehearsal?
Yep.
Yeah,
it was everything.
Everything was on the clock. Rehearsals were 2 hours and
and then they got to go and have lunch.
Yeah, and so up until the night before the first performance, there was still a lot to be done.
Yeah.
And sort of crisis meetings with our conductor in his silk underwear in his hotel room. And
What?
Really?
yeah, it was.
Sorry, I cocked it.
There was a couple of minor,
You picked up silk underwear then, didn't you?
Silk underwear in his hotel room.
I was just drifting off, and then we've got
last
silk underwear.
11th hour meetings in his hotel room.
Absolutely,
in silk underwear.
and with music scores in front of us and
You don't invite people over to your room for a sort of a work sort of related meeting, and you answered the door in a pair of skimpy silk.
Come in, boys.
yeah, well, pretty much, yeah.
This is my room.
Oh, so hello, boys.
Anyway, getting past. Hi, Domenico.
He's probably wrapped. He's saying, thank goodness.
It was an incredible experience, and
It was.
don't think I've gotten over it yet.
Stop laughing.
And it was really interesting that they would ask us, because it wouldn't be a thing that you'd seem like someone like us with an orchestra, and so good on them for especially the guy Nick Bailey, who was the orchestra bloke organiser at the time, and approached a journalist in West Australia, said, who should we get for it? And he said, oh, I know, Tim Rogers, probably as a joke. And they actually went through with it. And, extraordinary, dealing with 77-piece orchestra.
Yeah.
So you played contemporary stuff, you weren't playing...
No, we played
their stuff.
Predominantly back catalogue stuff.
Yeah.
So
how fantastic, was that just a fantastic experience, though, to have the music that you'd written for a specific initial purpose to be treated to a kind of a
some of the arrangements were very eccentric, and
so I was going to say you handed over, obviously had to send stuff over to them. They'd do charts and stuff. Or
well, a list was presented. A list was decided on, and then they outsourced arrangers.
Yeah.
And
they send it back to you, and you have to okay arrangements, or you turn up
we went over there for a
Jesus,
listening session.
We had a listening session for a day, but the night before we chose to get on the Terps.
Right.
So we turned it to a listening session, and we were in serious trouble.
Holding on for dear life, listening to this beautiful music swelling all over us. Just go, oh my God! We don't know not sure whether we were weeping because of the hangover or the music, but it seemed to blend beautifully.
Oh, that's good.
We tried to get up at the end and announce the orchestra. Look, we know this is quite a different experience for you all. We want to thank you very much. But I think I got up and it sort of I didn't quell any of their trepidation at all. I think I only expounded it because we want to thank you very much. Has anyone got a Valium?
That must have, though, given you a really quite beautiful creative reward, though, in a kind of a pure sense. I mean, just seeing the music interpreted in that way, did it give you a new insight into your own work?
A little bit, but it certainly gave us an insight into the other world of music, that world where everything is done like... Oh, how would you describe it? I mean, my first initial sort of impression of it was a very machine-like way to make music. But, I mean, you do have to be a little, or maybe even military or regimented kind of way. I suppose 77 people, you do have to have a form and a structure, a way of doing things. But we just sort of, and they did do it that way, and somehow we were successfully plonked in front of it, and I think it was a really good contrast.
But I'm always very interested, genuinely, in people's, and I'm not going to even say process, but the method that people to write songs, because I know there is a certain amount of, methodology that has to go into the thing just to get the thing finished.
To get it finished, that's an important point.
Whether people have a regimen that they have to say, right, I'm going to put aside this time, or, I mean, some people, as we know, are much more regimented than others. They go, right, I'm working 9 to 5 and I will work 5 days a week and that is my job and I will go and I will work. And they usually have enormous output.
Yeah.
Or whether other people just, you get that initial kind of impulse and you go, right, I've got to set aside the time to kind of really nut this thing out. I'm always interested in people's particular
Because you don't live in the same town either, so there's...
No. Or whether, if you both got quite a lot of different... Well, you got this thing now, but whether you kind of write something, and one, I know one would never write to order, but you sit there and you finish something and go, well, that would be good for that project or that over there. Or...
Sure, which is a luxury you have.
It's an open-ended kind of statement, really.
I generally, myself, have long off-seasons where I just don't write anything for a good 18 months.
Yep.
It's usually that's sort of a process that became necessary because you'd have a project, you'd have working toward writing with a band, and then you record, and then it was all promotion. So all through that touring promotion thing, you're not really thinking about creating anything, you're just presenting that. So, but now sort of off that sort of circuit, I still have these periods where it's 18 months where I don't even think about writing a song, and you just sort of build up a sort of a tension within you. So like. And then all of a sudden, I'm on, okay? I'm in the zone. And like, you could just be walking around and every little, oh, that could be a song.
Yeah,
the
synapses
you just sort of, your antenna's up or it's down.
Yeah.
So.
With this though, given that you're both singer-songwriters in your own right and you're quite used to writing for your own vocal style and your own sort of vocal delivery, are you actually writing for each other's vocal style, or is there
a lot of throwing it up against the wall and seeing what sticks? You know, I don't think that because we're not. Let's set the clock and we've got to, we'll have an hour sitting down writing together. I mean, it'd be. I think we write by ourselves actually all the time, and then we'll turn up to a session and, oh, look, I've got this, and what do you think? And how about that? I mean, I don't think we could seriously sit down there and go, I've got this bit, and I've got this bit, and what rhymes with peculiar, something like that. I mean,
there was a bit of that, when we had to. There was a pressure situation.
We were recording this song at Texas called "Everyone Hates You When You're Popular," and there was a couple of lines of verse just in there. So we just
stood there with a couple of
thesaurus.
So I don't know, when you don't think about it too much and there's a pressure situation where you just have to come up with something in 15, 20 minutes, and I guess you just do.
I was speaking to someone the other day about books about songwriting and books about lyric writing, and he said, of course, it's always tempting if you're in a bit of a block to get one of those, but I find it kind of abhorrent that that there is someone would even suggest that there's a formula for a good song. Formulaic things can often work. And I was sitting there with my daughter the other day, and Veronica's one of their singles came on. I thought, wow, that's really just constructed so well, and it was great, and Ruby really dug it. And I was thinking but to be in the situation where you'd start thinking that X plus Y equals, ka-ching, whatever, it's quite abhorrent. And the things that, I'd liked about Texas writing, and the times when I actually, feel all right about what I do, is because the things that in there are idiosyncratic, using, my own vernacular or people I know and friends and the like, and there's something at least a little bit individualistic, that without being jingoistic.
Yeah.
Istic?
Yeah.
Jingoistic, yeah.
Which is difficult because as soon as you do put in something that is particularly with Australian vernacular, then it's looked upon as being, using that for effect. And
That's
so, well,
right.
you know, if you're going to, life's short, if you might as well write something that's your own. I mean, there's this, Whenever It Snows, a song in the last Text on Charlie record, and someone was asking me that the other day about the snakes in the dunny line, and I guess there's how freaking wonderful is that? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a line, sure, but
But it's true of you both, though. You both.
Well, you're right.
have-
It suggests. It certainly it suggests a lot without kind of pulling it into a thing, without making it. The vernacular is very important.
well, if you know, if just when you grow
And I
up
like that,
with on the last year of my record that we were just doing, I was trying to write without copying anyone else.
Yep.
You know, whether it was I don't know, Tony Jones from The Damned or Loud George or whoever, just, you know, Randy Newman or whatever. Just don't copy, just try and see if you've got anything inside you that's original. And found that there actually was, you know. So with what we're doing, you know, hopefully that can continue and it's not just slavishly stealing from other people, which I really look back on anything that I've done in the past and think, I can see the lineage of that, you know, where it's come from. And I guess if you grow up listening to a lot of American and English music, and you almost pick up that kind of...
But do you think that's stealing? I reckon that's stealing. That's just you're always going to be influenced by what you formed yourself listening to.
He's too harsh on himself.
But,
Very
but
harsh
less
on
obviously,
himself,
less
Tim.
obviously, and just only to myself, just less obviously to myself, and it feels great to do things you come up with these, because you don't know where they come from. It is alchemy, and it is, you know, picking things from the sky. And when those moments come, when you think, I don't actually know where this comes from,
That's
I mean,
right.
how wonderful is that?
That's fantastic.
And of course, there's other people, Tim, who are less self-conscious about ripping off other people from the past, and you would probably know how that feels.
Ooh.
No, that other people have done that to you.
No,
You know that, don't you think so?
no. I mean, even people who say that they like what
That's right. Name them.
No, well, I think perhaps not ripping off. Ripping off is such a...
He's influenced a whole generation.
Yeah, that's what I meant. You know, that in fact,
I think
both of you have. You know, and
we
there
were
is
in,
a-
we were in
yeah.
bands in the way we approached the bands that we were in the past and still in, whatever. I think it's more an attitudinal thing. I don't think musically.
Tracee and I have discussed this, and we can't certainly say I can see examples in saying Tracee of. Probably I won't name them, but I mean you'd certainly see, certainly attitudinally, if nothing else, where you've had a.
Which
you
is
guys
great,
have had
'cause
a
I think we've
huge
had good
influence on these
attitudes.
people.
I mean, a lot of when you know, stuff that Texas did, and I took incredible kind of fortitude from
Yeah.
that. It was someone that, you don't have to be a cocksmoker to be, in the figurative sense, to be great, you know. And then meeting him and going out and, you know, Be Suburban gave you and I their first kind of real big tour in about '93. And that was a real eye-opener for us in many ways. In many ways.
And what kind of eye-opener was that? What sort of lesson in rock?
Do you know that
did
you just, because I remember I was doing an interview with you for a magazine at the time, and I would just, I didn't want to be up, Tex,
On
can
the
we talk
couch.
now? You know, what are your influences? And you treated me fantastically. And it was, once again, it was like, geez, you don't have to be a dick, you know.
Yeah.
You could be charming, erudite.
See, look at you two. See, it's a
My
beautiful
boyfriend.
thing to see the two of you together, because it has been... and
You
I
wait
don't-
till you see the album cover.
Are you naked?
You agree?
Are you naked?
Well,
Semi.
Really?
Yeah.
Silk underwear.
No.
Candles in
no.
the bathroom in the hotel room. Come
Silk
in, boys.
sheets.
But there is something about the two of you coming together at this point, because you've both, you know, great individual
We're both
bodies
thirsty.
of work. But there's something quite
Jack.
joyous, I think, though.
Jack.
And I mean this.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
It's
We
a
have-
real. It seems like such a joyous celebration of not just each other's respect for your work, but you know, you really got an enormous fondness for each other, and you've been around a really long time, influenced
Exactly.
a lot of other people, and you're finding
after everything, we
It's
sort
lovely.
we have sort of arrived at a similar sort of
Yeah.
mindset at a similar time.
I want to ask something that I've never, in 20 years, I've never asked anyone ever before.
Here we go.
But I really want to ask,
Here it
given
comes.
that the company that I'm in,
Yes.
Oh,
because
okay.
it's stellar company, and I feel quite honoured.
Yes, but we were very drunk.
What do you do when you hear yourselves on the radio?
Turn it off.
I turn it over.
Up?
Depends on what it is.
Yeah. If it's early
do you
stuff,
do?
I
The
kick
cruel
the
sea
radio
stuff
in the
I
car,
can't
kick it
stand.
out the window.
Do you?
Oh,
See,
yeah.
I often hear the boys
Early
moan
shit,
up.
but I agree.
What did you say?
Later stuff we
Can't
had to be
stand
more
the cruel
control.
sea, so all that sort of, all the stuff that got really popular.
Oh,
Yeah.
all the stuff that you won your ARIAs for, you don't like.
Anything that might be a bit obscure, you go, oh, hey, I'm on the radio.
Salamander Jim.
Oh, no, well, just something now.
Yeah, right.
Something. A TNT track.
Jeez, yeah.
And Timmy, what do you? Oh,
Well, it's a total different regard to Jim and Tex, because they've had, songs that have been played a lot and were extremely popular, and I've never had that situation. I just listen to it and think, ooh,
Come on,
it's a
Berlin
little
Chair.
bit out of
Come on,
tune.
Berlin Chair.
Never got played a lot. But it's,
Oh, bullshit.
Yeah.
Berlin Tune.
Little crossover hit. Crossed over.
Cross it, yeah. Crossed over from someone's bank account, missed mine, and went. No, it's but I think it's the same. If it's something that you're enjoying, that's great. Then
There must
of
be
course
things,
it's
yeah,
wonderful.
that you're proud of.
Remember the first time it did happen?
Is that all it was?
Oh, is
It was
that?
like,
I thought it was something about something sexual or something.
Of course.
Why do you always think I'm going to ask
No,
things?
well, because often it is.
Pineapple juice is very good for it, though.
Is it?
And lemon juice can kill a lot of things.
Really?
But
What's,
pineapple juice and parsley is very good for the taste
lemon
as
juice
well.
can kill the AIDS virus.
can it? What would
Can
you
kill anything.
Do you know?
Anything that carried by semen.
Really?
But how do you
Just
get
got
the
to get
lemon
it
juice
into
in there?
in between
How do you
in the
get in
passage.
there?
I've just tried drinking a litre of lemon juice before even think about going out on a Saturday.
Really?
Just in case you get lucky. Timmy Rogers, Tex Perkins, thank you both so much for coming in. It's been just a pleasure, hasn't it? They're pashing on the couch. They are pashing on the couch. Oh my God, they are seriously in love with each other. This is Tim and Tex with Half and Nothing.
I wanna provide for you, but I don't have much money. I'd like to keep you amused, but my jokes ain't that funny. But I show you how sweet a pig like me can be. I prove that it's true, the best shit is for free.
A taste of the Tim and Tex track Half of Nothing, and the album is called My Better Half.
Hi, Tim Rogers,
Tex Perkins.
watching Dig TV, and that's been the end of our show. I want to thank our guests, James Reyne, Tracee Hutchison.
Isn't she beautiful? And isn't he?
Isn't he handsome? Can you believe it?
Thank you.
Good night from us and good night from them.
We love you.
I hope I don't frighten you, 'cause we're moving too fast.